United fans, welcome back to Forever United TV. Welcome along to another live show, bringing you all the up-to-date Manchester United news from on and off the pitch. As always, how good was your Monday? After a Sunday afternoon victory, it's always more sweeter. Forget about the weather. Forget about it 1st of December and all the winter weather coming in. It's always good when you've had a win. And it makes the week so much easier. It makes it even easier that we've got another game coming up on Thursday. Yes, double game week for United. But who is going to be involved? We talked this morning about Joshua Zirkzee, Mason Mount's now obvious fight for a place in this Man United side after good performances against Crystal Palace. But is Joshua Zirkzee going to see it past the January transfer window as Roma approach Manchester United and push hard again to try and get Joshua Zirkzee out of the door? The latest on that situation is our top story this evening, everybody. So get into the comments on this. I'm going to give you the detail on that as well. We do have a lot of other news. The upset amongst Manchester United staff that Luke Shaw hasn't got his place back in the England fold yet, and all of that talk that was going on today. We'll touch on that a little bit. Manchester United chasing another young Brazilian centre-back, 17-year-old Luis Eduardo. It's also in the news today. JJ Gabriel, could he play in the FA Cup? He's not allowed to play in the Premier League yet because he wasn't 15 by a certain date, but could feature in the FA Cup. Would you even go there? Leon definitely going out on loan, and I'll tell you exactly where that is going to be in January. Romano confirming again after what we said this morning, 26 million quid will get you Conor Gallagher this January. Should we go for that? The Semenyo race, all of the other news going in and around the football club at the moment. We'll bring you completely up to date on all of the stories and get your opinions on everything as well. And we'll start with Joshua Zirkzee. Obviously, he was hot topic again for us here on Forever United TV this morning. And we were talking about his chances of featuring more for Manchester United. He has done his cause no harm at all in that performance in the second half. And obviously, that's going to attract attention also. And the story on the situation at Roma is that they are obviously, after losing at weekend, Rasmus Højlund's Napoli beating them 1-0 to strengthen their position in the Scudetto. Roma dropping away. Roma desperately looking for goals. Another blank for them this weekend. And Zirkzee is top of that list. But Manchester United are still holding firm, according to reports, that no Joshua Zirkzee sale will be sanctioned unless adequate replacements are there and ready to go. Obviously, a replacement for Zirkzee could come in the form of Antoine Semenyo. Are you happy to let Joshua Zirkzee stay and fight it out now after that second half performance? Or do we have to be realistic here with what is going on and just say that Joshua Zirkzee has had plenty of time and plenty of opportunities to show his qualities and just isn't good enough? Do we just have to be real here and say, no thanks, Josh, you've done well on this occasion and now it's time to move on? Semenyo is obviously the better player. Which way would you go? Don't want to get carried away by one half of football. Of course, we want to praise Joshua Zirkzee for his determination, and he has gone through quite a lot of crap at Manchester United with what happened to him last season, not getting a game time this season that he wanted, then getting his chance, crap in the bed for us a game and a half, and then turning up like a world beater in the second half against Palace. It's a bit of a mixed match story, isn't it, Josh's? So realistically, what's the better outcome for United? I'm pretty convinced where most Man United fans would go. But just to bring you up to date on Zirkzee's situation. Now, previously this week, before the Crystal Palace game at weekend, we told you the story that Joshua Zirkzee's agent and the player himself has given the green light to go to Roma, and he's happy to move back to Italy. This is all speculation and according to report stories right now. There's nothing cut and dry. Manchester United stands as it was before, is no sale standing in the way of anybody wanting moves. We talked about Zirkzee, we talked about Manu about this before, but this is hotting up now because Zirkzee's stock has risen after the weekend, of course. And Manchester United are only going to look at this if they get full money back. That's another story that has also been doing the rounds in previous weeks. They want full value back what they paid for Joshua Zirkzee and are in no rush to release him. With the likes of Mbeumo and Ahmad obviously off to AFCON, United are looking at everyone that they possibly can to feature in the side. Now, obviously, AFCON is finished round about... I think there's approximately 10 to 12 days left of the window when AFCON finishes, and still plenty of time for deals to be done. within that transfer window. So realistically, again, he could still go even after AFCON. It doesn't really matter if he needs to stay around for a few more weeks to actually help Manchester United get through this period when we're lacking in numbers in that area of the pitch. So their stance now, Roma, is, before it was a option triggered, now the story today is that they want Joshua Zirkzee, but there could now be an obligation fee in here. It's more from the Italian side of things and Roma's sheer desperation to try and get replacements in and bring goals back. Now, they know his record at Bologna in Serie A was very, very good. And obviously, I think he would fit seamlessly back into Italian football. Now, Rasmus Højlund has done exactly the same thing, so we know that's not going to be an issue. Zirkzee is guaranteed game time at Roma as well, which is another big thing in these reports from the player, which is why he probably sanctioned it. Well, sanctioned, it's the wrong word, but give it the green light, let's just say. So that was before he had this breakthrough game, though. And now Roma's weekend has gone a bit Pete Tong. They're now pushing for Zirkzee to go to them and try and speed this along and make something happen here for Roma and get some more firepower in their side. Whether or not this is going to actually materialise, again, like I said, it comes down to the Antoine Semenyo situation with United, because there's no other forward on United's radar, according to any of the in-the-know or top journalists, tier ones. Nothing is being said. Semenyo is the only option for Manchester United in terms of bringing any forward in January. I think that's probably genuine as well, I would say, because they're only going to bring players in, like they've said before, and the club stance is if they bring the right characteristics and something different to Manchester United. Now, we explained the whole Semenyo saga the other day and what he is bringing to Manchester United and what the stance is contractually and what could happen with any potential transfer in January, the first 10 days of the month. Manchester City have now entered the race according to a few different sources as well. So that's Liverpool, City, Spurs and Manchester United. United's interest is there. I just don't know if it's strong enough. And if United continue with Zirkzee and him actually performing, they would look at that as an opportunity to say, we don't need to spend any money on a position. We've already got an abundance of players in. You're talking here, potentially, Joshua Zirkzee and Mason Mount all of a sudden turning up in that position. And Zirkzee is flexible for 9 as well, which we're not going to get in January. Clearly, Semenyo's another wide attacking player. So when you look at how the picture's laid out right now, Man United might think, oh, we don't want Semenyo. We want to save that money for a midfielder, which to a lot of Man United fans makes a lot of sense. So their stance in saying Zirkzee's going nowhere kind of looks even better now after the weekend when he turned up. But also what you've got to look at is that let's not forget about Mason Mount. These are players that were being laughed at for not being good enough and hardly ever being available. Both Mount and Zirkzee have been fit and available for the entirety of this season so far. We're already a third of the way in it and we've not seen them go missing at all. Now, Zirkzee has proved after a bit of game time that he's got something left in him. Now, if United decide to obviously sell him in the summer, that's a different story. But I think Zirkzee's problem here is in himself. So the Roma stance is fine, the Man United stance is totally fine. They're thinking club before player, which is the way it always should be. For God's sake, they're paying the wages of these players. And that's the stance on Kobbie Mainoo. We might have time to touch on him as well, because there's been a lot of soft soaping for Kobbie Mainoo over social media today as well. I mentioned it this morning about the sad-looking pictures of him on the sideline. Look, Manchester United pay the wages to these players. We pay astronomical wages to these players. And yes, of course, they want to play football, but the club has to come first. You're part of a squad. No team on this planet actually has 11 players that play every single week. It's impossible. We all know it's a stupid thing to say anyway, but Zirkzee has to decide whether he's happy being a squad player or if he wants more game time. This is great for him now. Let's not forget, we've got signings that Ineos have made in Benjamin Sesko and Matthias Cunha both coming back. And then you've got Mbeumo and Ahmad that will come back from AFCON. So he's going to get minutes in the next 5 to 6 weeks easily, Joshua Zirkzee, and probably beyond with AFCON if both Ivory Coast and, of course, Cameroon with Ahmad and Brian Mbeumo, if they do well in that competition, they could be out at AFCON until the 3rd week of January. That's how long it runs out for. So when we look at this, what does Joshua Zirkzee want? because when that AFCON competition finishes, Sesko's going to be back, Cunha's going to be fit, and Mbumo's coming straight back into this side, and no one can deny him that place after the way he's performed so far this season. That is where he's got to make a decision. Right, okay. If I want to, I don't think he'll get into Koeman's World Cup squad, by the way, because Koeman just doesn't like him anyway. When he was actually in the World Cups, when he's in the international fold with Koeman, he wasn't really liking him anyway, and his words about him weren't very complimentary, let's just say that. So I don't think Koeman likes him anyway. So put it all in to one and just see what works out best, what's being done at Manchester United, his chances there, the opportunity at Roma, and what actually moving would help him with in terms of his career. He's going to stop getting game time by the end of January, and then you're into the last week of the window. Does he make the decision? Does he want to leave? Does he force United to make a move? Well, you could just argue that point and say, well, none of that matters, Adam, because you've just said Man United are not selling anyone unless they get a replacement. And if Semenyo doesn't come in, United are going to keep Zirkzee. Maybe they've just brought this talk up because AFCON is coming up. But when AFCON finishes, does this picture change? That's the important bit, I think, in this. And I think it's going to come down to Zirkzee, because he will know that he's not going to get ahead of Cunha and Mbumo when things start cooking. Probably even Sesko. He's going to have to play unbelievably well in this next few weeks, I feel, to try and even think about using Manchester United as an option going forward. Whatever happens, I think Zirkzee will be gone in the summer. I really do think that Zirkzee's finished in the summer for Manchester United anyway. And United will probably hope that he plays and plays well, because they bring back full value. And they've lost nothing. I mean, if he puts in performances like he did against Crystal Palace in the second half, he might be worth more. You never know. You never know. Look, I'm going to get into the comments now on this. In the situation that I've just described, what do you think should happen? Where do you think we should go? Also, by the way, everybody, the link in the live chat is for OK Jerseys, our retro replica kit and current kit supplier for any training kit, any first team kit, retro kits for any club across the globe. All there on this site. Use your promo code Adam to get an extra 8% off. Get your stockings filled now for Christmas, everybody. Use that code right now and get in there and get all of your shirts for your kids, for your families, for your presents or whatever for as little as 15 quid. Fill your boots, get as many as you possibly can. Use my code as well, Adam, just to get that extra bit of discount on top and get anything that you want. I'll throw a few of these jerseys out over the next few days so you can see them, so you can get your orders in quickly enough to order before Christmas. So get in there, everybody, and get on to that. Right, comment section, here we go. I did see a super chat right at the start of the show from Raphael. Thank you very much, Raphael, who says, Adam, 3 weeks ago, I said Valverde is a dream signing. Today I read he isn't happy and wants to leave. Any truth in this? Oh, mate, I wasn't going to talk about this subject, but you forced me into it because you super chatted, which I really appreciate, by the way. And I'm happy to talk about Valverde coming in. Apparently, he isn't happy. There's a lot of unrest if you listen to reports. Now, behind the scenes, it might not be as serious. You look at the Endrick situation going on loan to Lyon. You've heard about the Vinicius Jr. situation, the fallout there. There's been talk of Bellingham. Alonso isn't everybody's cup of tea, it would seem, at Real Madrid. Obviously, you've got the story behind Rodrigo as well, and that obviously didn't develop into anything in the summer. Talks of all of these new midfielders coming in and potential moves for Real Madrid. Valverde is right in the middle of it all. And there's a story, but it came from the Mirror, which I didn't really look too much into. I do apologise. I'm not slagging the Mirror off or anything, but I wouldn't look at Valverde as an option for Manchester United. I would like him, don't get me wrong, and he would be a dream signing. He's a fantastic player, absolute ball off of a player for midfield. That would be a dream for me, but I'm going to be realistic and say no. I really don't think he's on United's radar. I think everybody would link Valverde to Manchester United just because he's having a bit of a bad time at Real Madrid. I think them days of United going and getting Madrid players for stupid amounts of money, and that's no disrespect to the players, like your Casemiros, your Varans, coming to the end of their career. Valverde's not there yet, I know, but I don't think United are going to go and spend anything like that type of money unless it's a player that they have looked at for a long time. They'll know about Valverde. They would have looked at him. They would know his quality. But I realistically don't see United doing business with Real Madrid. I'm not saying that's off the table, but not for this deal. Just to burst your bubble a little bit, I'm sorry, mate. Raphael, I would like players of that quality at my club. I just don't see it. I just don't see it, buddy. That's all. Right, into more comments. Thank you for the super chat again, buddy. Let's see what we got. Cunha gets a pass and a little criticism. Always injured and not fit. Scored 1 goal. A poor return on him. He's got to give him chance, though, Lee, haven't you? You've got to give him chance. He has done and performed well in certain games as well for Manchester United, I feel. And in that best run we've had so far, he was key. He was key in them games, particularly in Brighton, not just because of his goal, and the work rate and what he did in the Liverpool game was exceptional for me. So I want to give Cunha lots of time. He is a quality player, and there's a reason why we bought him. He will come good. I'm fully convinced by Matheus Cunha. Not in what he's done so far, but just in what we've already seen and know of him in the Premier League. I've seen enough in a United shirt to know that he's getting it. He has been interrupted by these injuries. 2 injuries this season hasn't helped. And this ridiculous one with the head injury, I've got no idea what that is all about. But it really does baffle me, that one. But he's apparently fit and ready to go for Thursday. And we'll see what Ruben does with it. He's got a selection headache, surprisingly. With Sesko being out, still selection headaches for Manchester United. You thought it would have been a no-brainer, wouldn't you? Well, like we just described, Joshua Zirkzee is turning form after that Crystal Palace performance. He's now on the scene and he is a real option for us. We'll see. All Cobby is thinking of is that England spot. He's had a taste and believes he deserves more. I don't, says Stu. Interesting. We may come into thoughts on Kobbie Mainoo as we go through the show as well. Like I said, we want to get through from some other subjects, but he does slot into the Joshua Zirkzee mould of player, doesn't he, as well, on the same conversation, like we've just said. Oh, by the way, everybody, I forgot to mention earlier show tonight. I don't know if you realised. Yes, it's still only 10 to 6. I have training with my son tonight, and I forgot to mention it this morning. Apologies to everyone if you are wondering why I'm earlier and it's not quite within your schedule. It doesn't happen a lot, and I appreciate you all still being in the chat with me. So thank you for that. We are bound to get injuries, and we need a quality player to replace Zirkzee. No point in another squad player that hardly plays. That was in reply to Grandpa 70. Keep your own personal conversations going in the chat as well, people. I do butt in sometimes and actually interrupt by mistake, but still carry them on. I'm just intrigued what people are actually saying. We do have plenty of little subplots going around in the live chat as well there. Valverde is 27 years old, says Gregory. Would you spend 80 million on a 27-year-old of that quality? Ineos are not going to do that. I'm going to tell you now, they're not going to do it. The model is buying the right players with Prem-proven quality right now under the age of 26. It sounds ridiculous, and it sounds like we're just really narrowing down the market and the potential net that could be spread across the globe, but that's still there. It's in an affordable bracket rather than going out and spreading it across every league across the world and picking out the best players. I do believe this is the right way to go with the Prem-proven players for now. We do have to dip into the market elsewhere across the world like we are doing. Romano is bigging up Orozco, by the way. The Colombian kid coming in. He's bigging him up like United think that they've just found the next Moises Caicedo and he's going to be an absolute world beater. We will see. He looks good in under 17, under 19 sort of football. The Premier League is a different ball game altogether, so I'm not expecting anything straight away from Orozco. I'm happy that we're looking at these players, but that's as far as it goes, I'm afraid. Cunha will do better when he has a decent partner behind him on the pitch. Things that will come good for him. No doubt, Stephen. Good comment, matey. No doubt. 100% 27 is the perfect age and Valverde is class, Stu says. He is. But again, most of the time people get mixed up with me and what I say as that if I say no to Valverde, it's that I don't want him. It's not that I don't want Valverde. It's that I just really don't think United are going to go for him. That's it. Nothing against him as a player. I think he's top notch. And I think he is of elite level when he's playing in that central midfield. Obviously, he's been deployed back end of last season and I think sometimes this season as well as a full-back, which is kind of a waste, but midfielder of the utmost quality. I just say that Ineos won't do it. I really don't think they will. He'll be 28 in June. That's his age when he would arrive at United. True as well. We are signing the whole South America because of Caicedo, says Sesco Lover. No, I think people just look at it and over-egg it a little bit, mate, and saying, like, why aren't we looking at these gems? Why are we not looking at these Caicedos? Why can't we sign them? Brighton do this all of the time. We're arrogantly just looking at Premier League players. I think it's a narrative driven by the actual fan base rather than Manchester United not doing this or never doing it before. I think we have actually looked, but I think the emphasis now from the new structure that's in place at United is on recruiting the right type of player. Recruitment. That is the be-all and end-all at every single football club. You have to be pinpoint and on the money with it. And when these players are coming cheaper when they're younger, it obviously gives the club freedom then to look at it as a no-cost transfer and hope for that player comes good. If he doesn't, he might drop to the next level. And do you know what? We'll actually still make a little bit of money on him because we haven't paid over £1 million for him. That's the likes of Diego Leon, who we're hearing tonight is definitely, according to our man Sully on the ground, heading out to Ineos-owned Nice in France on loan for the rest of the season when the January transfer window opens. This is looking like a nailed-on deal now, and another option for United on the left, heading out on loan. We've spoken about this, haven't we? And we've said the likes of Harry Amas, who's now doing well over in the Championship at Sheffield Wednesday, and now Leon is going out. There's two players that we seen in Manchester United's pre-season that we actually might have thought would have done a job for us. Leon gave it the big one coming in, wants to prove to Ruben Amorim that he can stay in Man United's first team and he doesn't want to be out on loan anywhere else. Well, he's come in and he's found it too difficult, like we expected it to be, and it's the way it should be. You took a punt, he's still young, he needs to develop more, and he will. He'll be fine. And going out to Nice is actually, it's an actually higher level than what I thought. Somewhere in the Championship, League One is usually where Man United sign or send out their loanees and their young players. For Leon to be playing in League 1, he's going to be coming up against some absolute quality in that division. So we'll see how he handles it, and hopefully if he does go, and this is real, which I think it is, going off what Sully said, then it's a great opportunity for him to develop even more and prove, like he said to Ruben Amorim when he first walked through the door, that he could actually be a player for this football club and he could do a job. So yeah, I'm hoping that he actually does well out there and he does come back an even better player. It's great to get experience, and you cannot train experience in at the training ground. They have to be given the right loans. And I know I bang on about this a lot, but the role that Johnny Evans is doing now, making sure that academy players get the right type of loan as well. I think everything that's in place at United is right, and I think everything is where it needs to be for these players to be given the best opportunities. And I think Leon is going to be heading out to get the right opportunity at Nice. And I think that's all good. I'm happy that he's heading out alone. I think that is the right decision. I really do. I really do. Block, you're on one tonight, aren't you? Are you in Dubai lapping it up, mate, or something? Why isn't Leon going to Lyon rather than Nice? Seriously. We have some comedians in our chat as well, we do. Thanks for that, mate. Adam, what the heck are we talking about? No news, Den. What are you on about? We are talking about news. We're talking about potential players moving away from Manchester United in January. In fact, we've just had a guaranteed one about Leon going out. Manchester United actually also looking at young centre-back, another young centre-back, in the name of Luis Eduardo, playing over in Brazil at the moment. Manchester United and Chelsea chasing this kid who I know absolutely nothing about. Again, like I've always said, I've got no problems with that at all, because it's Manchester United doing their job, and I don't know who this player is, because the scouts are doing their work. We're finding out about this player because United are being linked to him. And again, I don't want to talk too much about it because It's somebody I know jacko about. But United are doing the right moves in the right areas. Again, that's all we can say with this one. And it is something that we do need to obviously look at and talk about, because it could be another future star. Look, it's a big if and a big could. But look, it's just more work being done behind the scenes. Our current left-sided centre-back and potential left wing-back, full-back, whatever you want to call Luke Shaw. I'm going to ask the question here now, and obviously get into the chat as well. Are you surprised that Manchester United people are surprised that Luke Shaw is not in the England fold anymore? I'm not. I'm happy for Luke Shaw to be playing well, but sometimes you have to look at other options, and I don't think anyone is going to be convinced by Luke Shaw just because of his previous record. Am I being mean in saying that? 'Cause don't get me wrong, I am actually pleasantly surprised by Luke Shaw right now. Manchester United people are running the argument saying that Luke Shaw has been fit and ready to go for the last 4 to 5 months. He's been fit since April. Why is he not featuring? In fact, some reports, and it's come from Samuel Luckhurst, and he said that Manchester United staff are shocked that Thomas Tuchel has not even considered Luke Shaw for any international games this season, and they cannot get their heads around it. He's performing well. Look, don't get me wrong. Luke Shaw is playing the best that he's played in a long time in a Man United shirt. He's had some poor games this season, as well as good games. I thought he had a very, very good game against Crystal Palace and was our best defender at Selhurst Park the other night. I've got to give him that. His aggressive tackling was exactly what Ruben Amorim was asking for, that was lacking in that Everton game. There were times in that first half where he came right through the back of players like Mateta and Sarr, and I thought he was absolutely brilliant in the game. I really do. I thought he was absolutely rock solid, and that's what we've wanted from Luke Shaw for a while. I just look at this and I go, do anyone at Manchester United ever read the room? Like, there is no one in this Man United fan base that's ever going to be convinced by Luke Shaw. If he sees out a full season without any injuries, people might think, oh, Luke Shaw's back. But we're just waiting for the next breakdown. That's the problem. And it's nothing against Luke. It's nothing against him at all. We are just waiting for the next Luke Shaw injury. That's how it feels to me. It's stupid to think that way, I know. But I'm just going to be honest. This is the only reason why I think England haven't even looked at him. But then again, this is a long time for Luke Shaw. And this is a surprise. A big surprise. I bet if you asked any Manchester United fan at the start of the season, Luke Shaw is going to be available for the first 14 games of the season. He'll be there, raring to go. No one would have looked at you and gone, fair. Everyone would have looked at you and gone, are you crazy? Not a chance. And people would have put their houses on Luke Shaw getting an injury in the first third of the season. But no, that's it. The problem you've got is, and everyone always says this in the Man United fan base, when Luke Shaw's got a contract coming up, which he has, because after this season, yes, he's got 1 year left, and when there's a big international tournament coming up, Luke Shaw will be fit and he'll be raring to go and he'll be absolutely on it. And this is where United fans are at, and this is, again, this is our fan base. It's nothing to do with England, obviously, but this is what we see. We know this man better than anybody. We know him better than any manager. We know him better than any opposition, pundit or fan or anybody looking in. We know what's coming, you see. That's the thing. And again, I don't want to put that slant onto Luke Shaw and say that he's not good enough. I just feel like I don't think anyone's convinced by him anymore. I don't. I think he's a good, solid defender. I don't think he's world class. He could have been, but he's never going to get that tag anymore. And he definitely doesn't deserve to be in the England squad more than anybody else, I don't think. I think he's on a par, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got in the England squad, and that's just me being really realistic. Let's not forget, he's been a big part of a Manchester United team that's conceding a lot of goals this season. So, again, is he great every single game? And that question, I think, has been answered by the amount of goals Manchester United have conceded in the games that we've lost because of these switch-off moments. And he is part of it. He is definitely part of that problem at the back when we have them moments and we switch off. But look, he's played well at weekend. He's had his best season so far for Man United. And consistency with a few more players this season has shown, I think, in where we are in the league. That's what I think we should be looking at. The fact that we've not had many injuries and Man United are actually further up the table and closer to the top four than we've ever been at this stage of a season. So, again, he's played a part in that, you could say. But yeah, I'm going to get into the comments on this one just to see where everyone's at. Please, of course, make sure that you do pop a like on the video as well, everybody. If you have just joined us, welcome to the show. Get into the comments section. And of course, make sure you get your likes in, hit that subscribe button as well. Thank you for everyone who has done that already. Link in the live chat today is for OK Jerseys, everybody. Grab your retro and replica kits. They're cheap and ready for Christmas, everyone. Any shirt you want across the globe, they're on that link. And it is in the live chat and the description on this live show and video. Tim says, that spirit back block, the Palace player was the fantastic. He's moved for the last 5 years. I'm sorry, I think that's someone else's conversation there. I thought we was talking about Luke Shaw then. As soon as his World Cup dream is completely kaplunked, or watch him get injured. See, that's what we're all thinking, isn't it? Phil Jones was more reliable than Luke Shaw. Ooh, that is a cold one there from Block. He was he? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Honestly, that man there, Phil Jones, oh, what one of the worst injury records I've ever seen any player have. Worse than Owen Hargreaves, near enough. That was horrendous as well. Actually, Man United have had some of the worst demics ever, haven't we? In terms of availability and injuries over the years. God, we have. It's been bad. It has been really bad. Savage says that was incredibly harsh. Zirkzee has been labelled in Holland as the new Hullet. The kid is a baller and Amrim might just have found a beast. If used properly, he should stay. The question I asked, though, Emmanuel, was, is he going to get the minutes that suit him and what he wants? This is the thing. If he's happy being a squad player, I think Ruben is going to use him. But after that AFCON tournament, where and when is he going to play? Of course, the FA Cup is also coming around as well. The FA Cup is coming around as well. So another game for Manchester United. And there's been talk of JJ Gabriel, actually, the young 15-year-old academy player who we did a show on Friday night, being available for the FA Cup game. It's just, no, it's not going to happen. There's a lot of people been talking about that today. I just wanted to cover that quickly now and just say JJ Gabriel will not feature for Manchester United in the FA Cup. He is being brought into the academy, from the academy to the first team, simply because there was a heavy schedule for the under-21s and they couldn't train and fill up the numbers for first team training. So then they dip into the under-18 players to bring them through. So a lot of hype, and the hype is real. He is going to be an absolute superstar, this kid. And we do need to nail him down, and nail him down very, very quickly, I think. And do a little bit more with JJ Gabriel, I think, in terms of what we're going to offer him and try and incentivise him with. But the FA Cup this season? No, I don't think so. Definitely not. Let's get some more comments in this chat on all the subjects we've talked about tonight. And look, give me your thoughts on Luke Shaw. Give me your thoughts on Joshua Zirkzee, because these are two players that I think could definitely be out of the door in the summer. Decisions are going to need to be made. Big decisions are going to need to be made this summer on a lot of players. We went through that list the other day of players that are either out of contract or coming to the last year of their contract. One of them came on the pitch in Lisandro Martinez yesterday as well. Decision on him. Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, we've got reasons to talk about Zirkzee and Agate, mainly on top of that also. Then you've got the likes of Luke Shaw, 1 year left. Maguire and Casemiro out of contract anyway. The loanee players that are also going to be let go by Manchester United. There is talk that Andre Onana is doing so well apparently in Turkey for Trabzonspor that they might actually bid for him from Manchester United. Now, his contract will be 3 years in, and United will be in a miles better financial situation to realistically break even on Andre Onana, which I think they would jump at the opportunity to, considering we have got Senna Lamens in goal now, and obviously Radet Vitek is also coming back in pre-season after his loan spell at Bristol City, which he's doing well in. So some big decisions there, and Zirkzee and Luke Shaw, big part of Manchester United over the next 2 transfer windows, I think. Zirkzee, definitely January and the summer, and I think Luke Shaw, I think a decision on Luke Shaw needs to be made also in the summer transfer window. I don't think United would give him a new deal anyway after that. But, I mean, Luke Shaw's not the biggest earner at the football club, but I don't see any deal going his way from Manchester United. 100% no. So, yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on this. We're creeping up to that 200 like mark, actually. So, thank you, everybody who has already liked the video. Great numbers on the likes for this evening's show. JJ Gabriel ain't ready yet. He's still very young and needs more development, especially physically. If he plays the FA Cup, he'll be kicked from pillar to post. Need to protect the kid. I don't think you can kick from pillar to post anymore. But you're dead right. He still needs development, and he really does. Rev G, I think we need to extend Leach's contract, but Shaw, Maguire, Casemiro need to be replaced. How can we expect to improve every year if we keep the same mid players? I get what you're saying there. Again, it's like insanity, isn't it? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That's what a lot of people would say with a lot of this squad. Even if they're showing signs of improvement this season, is it going to take you to the next level? And they've already proved that they can't sustain that in previous seasons. So why would you want to renew that contract? I don't think they would. I really don't think they would. But hey, look, that's what we're looking at. I don't know if you have seen social media or if you keep a track of it. Confirmed, as we said this morning, Cunha's pictures of training at Carrington, happy, all smiles, ready to go for Thursday. He is back in the matchday squad, and brilliant to have them options as well. And this is why JJ Gabriel is never going to play for Manchester United this season, because you've got too many players in the way. There are more important things at hand here. Cunha is coming back. He's posting it on social media. The pictures are there for everybody to see. So back in the fold brings us back to our conversation this morning again. Zirkzee and Mount, or does Cunha come straight back in? I think Cunha will be on the bench this Thursday. I really do. I think he has to fight for his place in the side. And if he has to fight for his place in the side, so too does Joshua Zirkzee. Is that good enough for him, like we said earlier on in this show? Another player that has to fight for his place is Kobbie Mainoo. And there's been a lot of love for Kobbie Mainoo today on social media. And it's because of that little video of him looking really miserable on the sidelines before coming on the pitch. And there's been a lot made of it on socials, but a lot of response from people on social media to these posts on Kobbie Mainoo have been a little bit the opposite way round. He has to fight for his place. He has to go for it. He has to take his opportunity when he comes around. He cannot expect to walk into this Man United side. I'm not going to get into this argument again. We've covered it so many times, but a lot of people have said that it's his agent, his contract situation that is really starting to hurt him now. And with the club right behind Ruben Amorim, there's only going to be one winner in this. And unfortunately, another agent is going to kill another player's career. Yeah, like I said, I've said everything I need to say about Kobbie Mainoo. And my honest opinion on him is an absolute baller of a player. I love Kobbie Mainoo, I really do. I think Ruben will win, and he won't survive at Man United though. And don't get me wrong, I'm taking no joy in saying that either, but I just don't know where he fits in for Ruben. I would love to see Kobbie in the 10 and give him a chance in a 10. When Mbeumo goes on AFCON, just put Kobbie in at the 10. Play him there. Give him a chance. That's his best position, I think, for United in this system. It's the only position in this system for him, in fact. Let him play there. And if he doesn't take the opportunity, or he craps the bed again, like he has done when he's played this season so far, then his time is up at the football club. Because he's another player in another couple of years that's going to be under the spotlight, and a decision needs making. In fact, this summer, a decision will also need to be made with him. And I think that is also coming. It's going to be interesting to see how that situation develops, because he definitely wants out. And like I've said many times before, Napoli are pushing very, very hard onto Kobbie Mainoo to try and get him out of Manchester United. This story is not over, and this is going to bubble up over the next few weeks. And when we enter that January transfer window, be ready to see, I think, fireworks in terms of back and throw from the club. I hope it doesn't turn nasty with Kobbie Mainoo. I really don't want this to end. I don't want it to end. I want him to be in our squad. I don't want it to end badly, though, and there be a big fallout. And I don't think he wants that either. Going off what's been said, I really don't think he wants that. And I think he does love the club. He's been here since he was a schoolboy, and I want him to stay. If he gets in line, yes, and learns, there are better players right now, I think, at the football club than Kobbie Mainoo. That's the problem he's got. And I don't know if he likes it. Last time when he came through, and someone made a post earlier on saying Ten Hag did a lot of things wrong, but one thing that he didn't get wrong was Kobbie Mainoo. I think he was lucky that Kobbie Mainoo was there, to be honest, because he did everything else wrong, and then Kobbie Mainoo came in and really saved our season in a way. And I think that's what a lot of Man United fans cling on to as well with Kobbie. They look at him and go, look what he did do in that season. Look, when he broke on the scene, how good he actually was. Again, it was a different manager, it was a different formation, and a different time at Manchester United when Kobbie came through. And we've seen this before with Garnacho. Same story, gone. I can only see one outcome for him, I'm afraid. And it's crap. But needs must, I'm afraid. Zach Rubin, he is a fraud. Gets Mainoo in the team in a 4-3-2-1. I don't think that's going to salvage anything at all, Andrew, to be honest. I'm not going to sack a manager because of the formation just to get Kobbie Mainoo in. In that formation, let's not forget, Kobbie Mainoo has not done anything significant in a Man United shirt for consistent amounts of time. He has just underperformed like everybody else. So why should he get different treatments, a lot of people would say, myself included. It's either Mainoo or Amorim. The coach doesn't believe in Mainoo, says Almac. Nope, you're dead right. And that is it. That's where we are with it. Good shout about Keith Smith. He looks good. Someone else talking in there. Is this another Dutch player, though? That's the problem, isn't it? Eredivisie players send shivers down my spine. I'm not convinced by any of them. I know football, and Kobbie Mainoo is a great player and will be a world-class player. I'm glad you know football, Danielle. Not like bigging yourself up there, mate, is there? But he's got to prove it yet. He's got qualities like every player that's at any decent club. They're there for a reason. It's whether or not they can handle the pressures of being a professional footballer and continue to progress. Only the greats and manage that. So yeah, with him, I'm not too sure yet, and he hasn't done anything that is going to that tells me he's going to be an absolute world-class player. I think he can be a great player somewhere. Like the previous comment from Allo, I feel like it's going to be a Ruben or Kobbie Mainoo situation. Kobbie, I think, will be the one that loses out. If United get into Europe anyway, Kobbie's got to make a big decision. He's got to make a huge decision. Anyway, that's how I feel about that. So that pretty much is our show this evening, everybody. We've covered all the news and everything up to date. There are other small stories that have just come up, but I'll double check all of that before and come back in the morning on that one. I'll do some more checking tonight to make sure on everything again and bring you your morning updates. In fact, let me just have a quick nosy at the press conference day, because that is coming up as well this week. In fact, no, I'll double check that and then let you know about that in the morning as well. It's pointless looking into it now. Thanks everybody again. Please give the video a like on the way out. Let's get that over 200 if we can, please. That is our target. Thank you for being with us early on the show this evening. Sorry it's a little bit early and out of people's normal schedule. Appreciate you all being in here still. Don't forget to check out the link in the live chat and in the description on OK Jerseys. Grab your kits now. And of course, thank you again for the super chats, new subscribers. Get your comments in when the video is finished and all the subjects. I'll check them out later. I'll see you all in the morning. Have a great evening, everybody.